Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. This is a article submitted by Patreon supporter Adam Martin. Adam, thank you so much for supporting this show. This is a really interesting one, and it's something I don't know that I'm going to come to a clear conclusion at the end of it, but there's an article that came out in the MintPress.com. The Intercept withheld NSA doc that may have altered the course of the Syrian war. There's a really interesting, it's a very long article. It was written by Whitney Webb on October 30th. I'll put the link in the show notes below. And it's basically, there's this NSA document that were leaked by Edward Snowden over 3 years ago. The document was noticeable as it shed light on the early days of the Syrian conflict and the fact that for the past 6 years, so-called revolutionary groups aimed at toppling Syrian President Assad have largely acted as proxies for foreign governments pushing regime change. The document explicitly reveals that an attack led by Free Syrian Army, FSA, which was intended to mark the anniversary of the 2011 uprising that sparked the Syrian conflict, was directed by a Saudi prince. The document proves, in essence, that the armed opposition in Syria from the earlier years of the conflict was under direct command of a foreign governments pushing for regime change. So that's pretty significant, right? And what it does is the document offers the clearest proof in the form of official U.S. government documents detailing the direct relationship between the armed Syrian opposition and foreign governments, and exposing the fact that this relationship existed much earlier than the mainstream narrative on the conflict had previously suggested. However, the Intercept article regarding the document is unusual for several reasons. First, the report inaccurately claims that the attack launched at the Saudis' behest did not result in any confirmed casualties. Second, it states that the 2011 uprising in Syria was an organic, peaceful movement that led to the Syrian government to wage an open war against its own people, a narrative that has since been debunked. And they delayed releasing this, the Intercept delayed releasing this, according to this article, by 3 years. And this article, according to MintPress News, this article that was in the Intercept, that MintPress News is claiming that the article failed to mention the U.S. role in funding the Free Syrian Army, as well as the CIA's well-documented role in training the FSA and pumping tons of weapons into Syria in order to foment and exacerbate the conflict in the early days. In light of the NSA's documents revelation that the U.S. had been given advance notice of the planned FSA attack on a civilian agent, no less, Washington's decision to let it proceed clearly suggests that the U.S. was involved in and well aware of the Saudi directives to the FSA. However, the Intercept piece chooses not to mention this crucial amount. So this article goes into a fair amount of detail, but the question here is the Intercept, are they not to be trusted? I get a lot of information from the Intercept. I've done many articles on this show based on, many videos on this show based on articles from the Intercept. I find the Intercept to be, pretty good compared to what the mainstream media is doing. And if you go to what's on there right now, there's an article on the Intercept by Robert Mackey. We knew Julian Assange hated Clinton, but we didn't know he was secretly advising Trump. So now there's an article saying Julian Assange was advising Trump. That's pretty insane. And I really, I'm not sure how to take that particular thing. Now, how does this relate to the Syrian thing? I don't know. I'm really perplexed by this. I'll be quite honest with you. And one of the things that this article brings up is that it's talking about how the Intercept was founded after the Snowden leaks were made public, and its first hires were Glenn Greenwald and Lauren Poitras, the only journalist possessing the full Snowden cachet. Those documents now belong to the Intercept's founder, billionaire eBay founder, and his for-profit media company, First Look Media. So that's what they're talking about. The owner of the Intercept, and is he that? Does that make him suspect? Does that make so? There's several things and we can go into. I'll go into more details specifically, but that's a fair question. That the Omidyar is the person that Pierre Omidyar is the founder of eBay and the Intercept, and so does that make him suspect? Right? If he's the founder of eBay. It could mean several things. Maybe he founded eBay, made a bunch of money, saw the corporate culture, and said, "I'm going to start my own paper or my own, publication." Maybe it is suspect. Maybe MintPress News, though, someone got within MintPress News and is trying to undermine the Intercept, because this is a tactic when you have a news organization that has access to all of these secret emails, the Snowden ones. It's amazing what they're able, the stories that they've been able to get to. And then what has also happened on the Intercept is people have then, they call up, or not call, but they email and say that they're whistleblowers. And, here's a story right now. Oil and Water Dakota Access Pipeline Company paid mercenaries to build conspiracy lawsuit against environmentalists. But then it goes after Julian Assange. So, and who knows, maybe Julian Assange did want to help Trump because he hated the Clintons so much because they wanted to drone strike him. But I got to tell you that the majority of the stories that the Intercept is covering, now maybe they're slowly going to put in a bunch of corporate nonsense. I really don't. Adam Martin, I appreciate you sending this in. I'm not quite sure what to make of this, and the specifics of this, because in this day and age, you have to wonder, you have to ask everybody, you have to question anything, and anytime there's rich people involved, what is their agenda? What is their agenda? What is MintPress News' agenda? What is the Intercept's agenda? What is this owner of the Intercept's agenda? And the Omidyar's, I'll give you some of his connections that here's his connections, right? So the fact that PayPal, of which Omidyar is a major owner, has allegedly been implicated in several of the still withheld NSA documents for its business relationship with the NSA and its role in the agency's mass spying program. In addition, former Intercept writers have asserted that Omidyar was shockingly disinterested in actual journalism of the paper, suggesting that the Intercept was created explicitly to delay the release of damaging documents from the Snowden cache until it deemed acceptable to the U.S. political establishment and others who stood to lose face. The Intercept published the latest piece only after the U.S. State Department itself began to report more honestly on the nature of these so-called rebels. A day before the Intercept story on Syrian rebels and the Saudis, the U.S. State Department for the first time admitted that moderate rebels in Syria had previously used chemical weapons, a charge it had categorically denied for years in order to facilitate laying blame for any and all chemical weapon attacks. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about this. And Adam Martin told me that Lee Camp talked about this in Redacted Tonight very briefly. So I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. Because it's good to question, because we should question everything. You know, question me, question the Intercept and what they're going for. God, I've read this article several times, and I still can't sit here and I can't. Because here's the thing: if we're going to ask the question, is the Intercept, are they, you know, I don't know what the term is, corrupted because their owner, you know, is a part owner of PayPal, and they have dealings with the NSA, then we have to ask, what's MintPress news? And it's weird. We live in a crazy era where it's like, who do you trust? And what kind of, you know, how do you make your decisions? And I don't want to just like, I also don't want to overreact like, oh, MintPress put this out. Oh, the Intercept's bullshit now, and just completely, you know, witch hunt the Intercept. But we got to ask these questions. And I don't know, we're going to keep talking about this. I don't know that like I said, I don't have a clear, like, it's this at the end of a lot of my videos. I feel very clear on something, and I just don't know. So I want you guys to read this article. I want you guys to weigh in on this and tell me what you think about the Intercept and MintPress News. Maybe they're both fine publications. Maybe it was just an oversight. Maybe they're both corrupt. Maybe they're both kind of good with a little shitty. Like maybe they're just a little more shitty than, or a little better and a little less corrupt than the corporate media. I don't know, but when you're owned by a guy that runs PayPal, well, that's interesting to me. So thanks for watching the show and supporting it. And Adam Martin, thank you for submitting this. You guys get to submit articles like this at the Patreon, the $5 level. There's a bunch of other bonus content and ways to participate in this show at patreon.com/Graham Elwood. Thanks for watching.